into this very special post-premium live event edition of WWE's The Bump. I'm Megan Morant alongside Matt Camp and Ryan Popola. As always, we just watched WWE Crown Jewel. You guys are reacting the next morning, but we have a lot to unpack, and I gotta say, a very entertaining show in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Triple H put out there on X, this could be a night with 5 champions, a lot of change in WWE, but Ryan, was not the case. And with the champions, they didn't feel that pressure too much.
No, I mean, one big title change that we will talk about, and then a lot of retaining, and one major constant, Megan, which is, I'm sure, where we're starting.
We are starting with Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. His reign carries on as he defeats LA Knight today in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. What a match by LA Knight, and I have to point out the obvious here. It looked as if LA Knight had the match won. That was until Jimmy Uso came to the aid of the Tribal Chief.
Which is what happens. When Roman Reigns needs help, he gets help. You run the play. I guess Jimmy Uso ran the right play because Roman Reigns still walked out as the champion. Solo tried to get a little different this time, right?
Yeah.
Solo with the distraction, and then Jimmy from the other side. LA Knight got too distracted, took care of Jimmy, walked into a spear. Same old, but at the same time, LA Knight could say, listen, I hit a BFT, I should have won this match. LA Knight has every argument to Nick Aldis to say, I deserve another chance at the undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
Kicked out of a spear. Not everyone can say that by any stretch of the imagination. There was a couple audibles, right? Because we saw Jimmy get involved in the middle portions of the match. LA battled back. He kept battling back. Roman Reigns was clearly frustrated with LA Knight's game, no pun, tonight. Ultimately, the hot route, as I said to you during the match, Jimmy Uso ran it, and it worked out. Maybe not the way he thought, but Matt, to your point, Roman Reigns resourceful as ever.
Well, LA Knight had the crowd behind him, but as you see here, Solo Sikoa creating the distraction, Jimmy Uso sliding into the ring to help out his cousin, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, and that's ultimately what led to Roman's ability to defeat LA Knight in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Matt.
Can I just say something here? The WWE officials, the guys that wear the stripes, need to start having some pre-Roman match meetings going, listen, we know how these things go. Can we not be distracted? Can we get on the same page? If there's 6 of you taking care of someone in the aisle, can the one in the ring take advantage or take full appreciation and full focus on what's going on with Roman Reigns? Did not happen, but we did, Ryan, as you see. We saw LA kick out of the spear. He was there. He took everything that Roman had to throw at him, and he kept battling back. In the first opportunity, I talked about this with Megan on the kickoff. You look at everybody that Roman has faced during this reign that started back in August of 2020. The majority of those opponents were either champions at the highest level or they had championship opportunities. LA Knight didn't have either one of those. And the spotlight was not too big for him tonight at Crown Jewel, just like it hasn't been for the last couple of weeks.
And ultimately, Roman Reigns retaining is the story. But to that point, I said this to both of you on Wednesday on The Bump, he was the most unfazed by all of Roman's games, theatrics, whatever you want to say in the lead up to this. And when you think about all the opponents that Roman has faced during these 3+ years, that's a really big and impressive statement. No consolation prizes. He does not leave as WWE Undisputed Champion, but that is something for LA Knight to hold on to as he moves forward.
Well, LA Knight really did up his game, to your point, Ryan. We saw the contract signing. We saw his demeanor. He looked like he belonged, and he wasn't fazed by Roman Reigns, which is saying quite a bit considering this historic reign that the Tribal Chief is on, Matt.
If you're not fazed by Roman Reigns, I kind of wonder how you pull that off. But I think when you look at the career of LA Knight, how long it took him to get to WWE. Think about that night he showed up at NXT on the kickoff show and where he's come since then. $1 million champion, dealing with Ted DiBiase, coming up to SmackDown. Not how he expected to get to SmackDown. Not what you expected him to go through, and he battled through all of that. He didn't have a premium live event match for the first time until this year, back in January. We're talking 10 months ago was the first time he stepped on the biggest stage. He didn't have a match at WrestleMania. I think that chip on his shoulder has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. So when you say, well, he was there with Roman Reigns and he wasn't faced, he can't be phased. And he's got to take that into the next step, whether that's a rematch, whether it's another championship opportunity, whether it's maybe going after Jimmy Uso, whatever it may be, he's got to keep acting that way. I don't think this will be a setback for LA Knight in terms of his career, but he'll look back and saying what could have been.
Well, to that point, because ultimately Roman retaining story one, LA being so game story two, but Jimmy Uso being invaluable tonight has to be a part of this conversation. And we've seen that Roman and Jimmy's relationship has definitely evolved in recent weeks, and I think a lot of us are still trying to make heads or tails of what Jimmy is doing a lot of the time. But Roman Reigns, I mean, a lot of people right now across the globe think Roman Reigns is not champion right now if it's not for Jimmy Uso at Crown Jewel. That's a really big deal.
And speaking of that, Ryan, social media had quite the reaction to Roman retaining his title at WWE Crown Jewel. You see right there, 5 months ago, LA Knight was sitting in the front row watching this show in Saudi Arabia. Matt, you talked about it. He's come so far since his time just a year ago. Here's another tweet. Roman Reigns win. Roman and LA Knight just cooked. What a good match. I totally agree. This proves that LA Knight is one of the guys that he says he is, and LA Knight has absolutely earned this. Even with a loss, one thing is for certain, LA Knight is a main event player for WWE. I don't think, quite frankly, that you can argue any other way after what we saw from LA Knight. But I do want to bring up another point, and it's sort of piggybacking off of what you said as it relates to Jimmy Uso. I had a lot of questions about the state of the bloodline heading into Crown Jewel. And the bloodline walked out of Crown Jewel looking as dominant as ever, Matt.
Well, Jimmy Uso made sure that Roman Reigns walked out of SummerSlam by going right up against his brother, and then was kind of floating in between and didn't have his way. He went back to what works, I think, for Jimmy Uso. Did he do enough? I mean, we could say he did enough. We watched it happen. We watched Roman Reigns still walk out as champion. Does Roman go, yeah, you should have done that? Because you know Roman. Roman's going to manipulate you up here. Whether you're blood or an opponent or Paul Heyman, it doesn't matter. He's doing exactly what he needs to do to get the most out of Jimmy. I would say Jimmy has re-earned his spot if he ever lost it in the bloodline. But that's up for Roman to decide. He can make Jimmy, I think, do whatever he wants.
Reports of the bloodline's demise greatly exaggerated. And I think just leave it at that, right? Because you're right. Leading into SummerSlam, I think all of us and a lot of people had a lot of questions about the fractures. Jay's doing his own thing. They're colliding in the main event of SummerSlam. A couple months later, we're going to talk about the other bloodline
there were losses. There were actual losses
100%.
here. Yeah.
But you look at tonight, a landmark night, and we're only talking about half the story when it comes to the bloodline right now. There's more to talk about.
Roman may not have had the biggest win in the bloodline.
I don't know if I disagree with that, Matt. I really don't.
And we will talk about that later in the show, but we have to move on to the World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth freaking Rollins retained his title against Drew McIntyre. This was a motivated Drew McIntyre. This was a Drew McIntyre with something to prove. And we saw throughout the match him targeting the back of Seth freaking Rollins. This is something, Ryan, that we knew superstars were going to do after Shinsuke exposed the back injury.
Incredibly smart. And Matt, like my first note on this was that at the beginning of this match, it was clear that it was 3+ years of frustration for Drew McIntyre coming out tonight. I said on the bump this past Wednesday, I don't know what this looks like if Drew McIntyre doesn't get it done tonight. He was very close. He looked impressive. He wrestled a really smart match. Ultimately, Seth finds a way, as he always does. I worry about Drew's mental state after this loss. He was building up pent-up aggression leading into this. We saw it come out tonight. I don't know what happens now, man.
Who does that come out against?
Right.
You know, is that we're going to see that on Monday Night Raw? You know, is it after Seth? Is it somebody else? Does somebody look at Drew the wrong way? Because I think he's at that point now. I mentioned bitterness on the kickoff show. Maybe that's a strong word. I understand why he was so frustrated. Listen, Drew is someone that on this show means a lot to us.
Totally.
And we talked to him a lot during that championship reign. We also talked to him off screen a lot during that championship reign. And I knew there was frustration, and he hit it well. He wanted to be champion in front of fans, not just necessarily for himself, but to take that with him. Remember being in Houston for the Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
We watched the start of this. Being in Brooklyn for that Monday Night Raw when he took Brock Lesnar down, and everybody's kind of going, oh, the momentum's here, and then he wins with nobody there. I got the feeling of that. I got that he put on a brave face during that time, but he was still a 2-time WWE champion. To your point, though, what Seth did. Seth was resourceful. Seth is going to be resourceful, and when you're in the spot that Seth's in, defending it everywhere. Remember, he won that championship at Night of Champions back in Saudi, going back to the beginning, in the middle of the year. Seth had to kind of put it all together. Seth's got to dig deep, whether that was against Shinsuke or against Drew McIntyre, very game Drew McIntyre. But the more he's got to go through this, the more it's going to start to wear him down.
Oh, yeah.
And Someone saw that, though, and wasn't able to do what he wanted to do, Megan, and Damian Priest.
And that is Damian Priest, and your Money in the Bank thought he saw the opportunity to cash in on a Seth freaking Rollins, who was clearly battered down from this match, even though he was able to retain the title. But Damian Priest wasn't able to cash in that Money in the Bank contract, and it's all because of one man by the name of Sami Zayn, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all were pretty surprised. I mean, no one more surprised than Seth.
And this was the opener. This started Crown Jewel right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damian had another match coming up later on against Cody Rhodes.
Very smart. I mean, we don't necessarily always see the dynamics of a cash-in play out that way when some of the cash-in is possibly going to have to wrestle later on in the night. Ultimately, Sami Zayn has said, listen, the Judgment Day is my enemy, and no bigger way to make that statement or maybe put a period at the end of it than what we're about to see right here, Matt.
Sami Zayn had already had a victory over JD McDonough,
Yes.
who's still trying to get into the Judgment Day on the kickoff, and right there, makes his way back through. He could have called it a night right there. A nice win, but saying, no. This is not going to happen this way. Judgment Day, you're going to mess with me. I'm going to mess with you. Sami Zayn not only stops the cash-in, he stops any future cash-ins of happening the rest of the night. So I said this. Sami Zayn could say to Seth freaking Rollins, hey, you kind of owe me one. Maybe that's a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity. Roman Reigns could kind of say that too, because Roman Reigns or Rey Mysterio could have been us. But I think Sami was focused on stopping Damian Priest and Judgment Day from walking out with the World Heavyweight Championship. They were not able to do so. I'm intrigued to see where the briefcase pops up, because I saw Rhea say to Priest, hey, you don't have it. And Priest's like, yeah, let's go find it. Good luck finding it. Now what happens with the briefcase? I don't know if it's the possessions 9/10 of the law Otis Miz thing. We'll see about that.
Well, that's the thing, though. Sometimes the simplest plan, Rhea Ripley's a mastermind, right? And Damian Priest, a very smart guy himself. You can't cash in if you don't have the contract.
It's not a digital contract.
Yeah,
it's not DocuSign here.
So, Sami Zayn, I mean, if he's trying to make his mark on the Judgment Day after all of these months that we've seen with them going back and forth, this was ingenious.
Well, we're going to dive into a little bit more of the Judgment Day. I want to get your guys' thoughts on the backstage interaction that we saw between Drew McIntyre and Rhea Ripley. But first, let's hear from the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. He's backstage with Jackie Redmond.
Well, Seth, congratulations on retaining your World Heavyweight Championship. But at the end of the match, Damian Priest tries to cash his Money in the Bank contract. Out comes Sami Zayn out of nowhere. I mean, I couldn't help but notice you did chuckle a little bit after they had left. What did you make of everything that transpired?
Honestly, I don't really know what to make of it. I don't have a great explanation for why Sami Zayn was out there. I know he's got his beef with the Judgment Day, as we all kind of do at this point. I was ready to fight, you know. My body wasn't feeling like I was ready to fight, but I was going to give it everything I had if, in fact, he was going to be there to cash in. And as someone who's very familiar with that contract, I understand that you got to pick the perfect time. He saw me in a bad way. I don't fault Priest. But, yeah, very curious from Sami Zayn. He's a good friend, so I might have to shoot him a text and see what that was all about. But, yeah, it was a hell of a night here. Still going on behind us. Looking forward to Raw and seeing what the future holds, man.
All right, thank you for the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Seth. And you guys, obviously, a very happy Seth. Very happy with Sami Zayn. And this is Sami Zayn, who we heard last week on Monday Night Raw say that he would do everything in his power to destroy the Judgment Day. And we're seeing those actions match up to his words, Ryan.
He owes him one. He owes Sami
He
Zayn
does
one.
owe him one. Do you think, though, that Sami's going, I was in that whole bloodline thing. I was on the wrong side of it. I tried to get on the right side of it. I don't want that to happen again to anybody. And I wonder if that's part of it for Sami. I know he's made it kind of his own thing, but he's looking around, whether it be Seth or Cody. Kevin's obviously over on SmackDown right now. He's buddies with Jay. Is he trying to stop this from getting out of control before it turns into another kind of situation that he was in with the bloodline?
Yeah.
All right, you guys, before we move on to the next match, I have to ask you about Rhea Ripley speaking with Drew McIntyre backstage. Obviously, Rhea Ripley offered both Seth and Drew a pretty enticing offer to join the Judgment Day. And there we see Rhea walking past Drew McIntyre after he lost his match to Seth freaking Rollins. And she's giving him the look of, I told you so. What do you make of this?
I don't know if Drew McIntyre's first or second thought after coming up short to become world heavyweight champion is I should have taken Rhea's offer, but I'll tell you this much. That didn't make him feel good. And with that said, I don't know what Drew McIntyre's thought process is, but that goes back to my original point of we might not want to know what Drew McIntyre's thought process is because I think it's getting pretty rough up there.
I don't know if Drew ever wants to be part of a faction. I don't think Drew's that kind of guy at this point in his career. But I think Drew, much like Sammy saw what happened with the Bloodline, was on the wrong side of that. Has now been on the wrong side of it multiple times in different situations. Does he look and go, there's no other way? This is what the landscape is in WWE now. There is no other way. Listen, you go back, whether it be the Bloodline, whether it be Clash of the Castle, whether it be, even think about what happened with Jinder costing Drew a couple of years ago when it came to Money in the Bank. He has to know their strength in numbers. He's a very strong guy. He's a very dangerous-looking guy, but he's one man.
Yep.
He's just one man. Right now in a WWE, that numbers really do matter. Whether they're in the ring or out of the ring or helping you out or talking to Adam Pearce or talking to Nick Aldis, you need those numbers. Drew might be coming to a tipping point where he realizes that.
And Megan, one last thing on that, to your point, because a lot of people, you're not necessarily wrong if anyone is calling Drew McIntyre bitter or stuck in the past. That also doesn't mean he's wrong. He has been on the wrong side of the numbers more often than not. He's rightfully frustrated. What he does with that frustration is what we're going to see in the future.
Well, speaking of Rhea Ripley and the numbers game, she had a numbers game of her own to deal with tonight as she defended her Women's World Championship in a fatal 5-way match. She walked out victorious, and we have to start with first things first. That entrance for Rhea Ripley completely set the tone for the match we were about to watch unfold at WWE Crown Jewel.
Champ stuff. That's what that was. That was champ stuff. You get that when you're the champion. You get that when you're a dominant champion. You could demand those things when you're a champion. But yeah, if I'm one of the other 4 opponents, I'm going, all right, she's the champ. I get how this goes. But that is setting the tone. She wants to beat you before she steps in the ring. I think Undertaker was like that for many years. Judgment Day kind of has that aura about them. Roman has that aura about him, which is why it was such a big deal in LA Knight interrupted it. But Mommy stepping in there going, hey, 20% chance, here's my mommy math. I still come out on top, I win.
Yeah, you know what's so interesting? I heard you say mommy math on the kickoff, and what I thought about all afternoon leading up to this match was I don't think Rhea Ripley looks at the 20% thing as a disadvantage. I think she looked at it, and it ended up proving out this way. Oh, I now have more numbers at my disposal to win in a unique way, in a punishing way. Ultimately, how Rhea Ripley gets this done is she used other people's bodies, literally, to her advantage to pull off a victory. Rhea Ripley was not fazed, Megan, by the 1 in 5 chance. She saw it as an opportunity to create chaos, which she does better than anybody.
And Raquel Rodriguez almost had it there. It looked like she was going to walk away with a victory that Rhea would not have been involved with as she had the pin on Nia, and then Rhea Ripley pulling the leg off and making sure that she is involved with this match. But I thought it was a pretty impressive performance for Raquel as well.
Everybody had a chance to win this one. That's how fatal 5-ways are, but if you're trying to pin one opponent, you're dealing about 3 other ones. Shayna made it easy sometimes. It's I'm just going to put 3 people in a submission. I'll still have to deal with one.
She would have done 4 if she doesn't need more legs.
She could have. But believe me, I think that Shayna could have. Shayna would look at us and go, all right, next time I'll get to 4. But if you're Rhea Ripley, the numbers do not matter because she has the numbers right here in her head. She's number 1. Nobody can touch Rhea Ripley right now. If you think about dominant champions, sure, you could talk about Roman Reigns. You could talk about Gunther. But when I think about Rhea Ripley, it's a mindset that I don't think anybody else is touching right now. And until someone can shake her, which I don't see happening, no one is knocking Mommy off the top.
Well, to that point, if I didn't think Rhea would be shaken tonight, but if 4 different opponents with 4 vastly different styles, all with personal vendettas against her, did not shake Rhea Ripley, at this point, I think that list has to be bare. I don't think anything's going to.
Well, let's hear from Mommy, the Women's World Champion, after she defended her title. She's backstage with Jackie Redmond.
Well, Rhea, not only do you retain your Women's World Championship, you do it in a match against 4 of the biggest and strongest women in WWE. I'd ask how you're feeling, but I assume it's pretty good.
I mean, apart from being hot in many different ways, I feel pretty great. I mean, I proved my point. This entire time, I've said that this is my division. And I just proved to everyone, including the 4 women that stepped in the ring with me, that this is Mommy's division. Mommy will always be on top because that's just what I do. And Nia Jax, she could try her best. Raquel Rodriguez, she could try her best. Shayna Baszler, she could try her best. Zoe Stark, she could try her best. No one is taking Mommy off her pedestal at the top.
Well said by you, but who can we expect to challenge you? What's it going to take for someone to get in the ring with Rhea Ripley and a shot at that gold?
It's going to take a lot. It doesn't matter who it is, when it is. Doesn't really matter about anything. Because like I've already stated, what's your name?
Jackie. I'm new.
I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter what your name is at the end of the day, because whoever steps in the ring with Mommy is going to get put down, because this is my division, like I said, okay? Now, next time we want to do an interview here, why don't we just bring Kathy Kelly instead, because I don't like Rachel over here.
The disrespect by Mommy to Jackie Redmond, but I'm hearing the larger point. She doesn't care whose name it is. Put them in a ring with her, put them in an interview position with her, and Rhea Ripley will always walk away on top, at least right now. And Nia Jax, I was impressed with her lead up to WWE Crown Jewel. Since she made her return on Raw, she took the division by storm. But we saw Mommy outsmarting every single one of her opponents. That night on Raw with the contract signing, Mommy didn't even get involved. She just watched chaos ensue in front
But think
of
of
her.
what she has been involved with. It's not just her. She walked into this match dealing with stuff with JD McDonough, always being by the side of Dirty Dom,
Always.
scheming and helping out Damian Priest and Finn Balor and having Cody say she's the lead. She's dealing with all that other stuff that has nothing to do with her championship, and then she goes and beats 4 other women. Why wouldn't you wipe that smile off her face? Why wouldn't you say, oh, who's going to beat her? What? You don't ask those questions. Jackie asked a fair question that there is no answer to right now. That's how good Rhea Ripley is, and I don't see who's stopping that anytime soon.
Yeah, when you're juggling 7 plates at once and still having dominant victories against practically the entire division in one night, you can be confident.
All right, well, switching gears, there was a new champion to walk out of WWE Crown Jewel. Congratulations to the new United States champion, Logan Paul. He's been in WWE for over a year now, but we knew that he wanted to walk out of Crown Jewel with gold. It took him defeating a Hall of Famer to get it done. And some brass knuckles got involved in this one too, gentlemen.
They were there. I mean, like, we'll get there. I mean, ultimately, they were there. Listen, I mean, first of all, congrats to Logan Paul. I've run out of ways to say this man is so unbelievably impressive in the ring. It still doesn't even totally make sense to me how he is this poised and this sharp this early on, Matt, and then you give the guy brass knuckles, and what a champion.
First of all, that was his second attempt to get the knuckles, one of his cronies, as Michael Cole called him, because Michael Cole is not keeping track of the Logan Paul roster. He tried to get him out there, saw Santos Escobar get involved. Santos gets the brass knucks, leaves them on the apron to chase after that crony. Here's what I saw Logan Paul do, though. He still absorbed that 619. He could have thrown a wild punch there. He absorbed the 619, kind of lulled Ray in. Total veteran move here. Very savvy, very wily. Bang. Then he knocks him down. Brass equals gold. Logan Paul in his 5th singles match, his 8th match ever. Let me repeat that. In his 8th match ever, he is the United States champion, defeating a Hall of Famer. He kind of threw it in Ray's face after the fact. I don't think this is anywhere near over, nor should it be. But Logan Paul's not going to take that championship wherever he wants to. We know he is a worldly man. He has been that way for a very long time. But 8 matches, 5 singles matches. This is now victories over Miz. Over Rey Mysterio again, by the way, won in tag action. Beat Ricochet at SummerSlam. He's been there at SummerSlam. He's been there at WrestleMania. He's been in a Royal Rumble. He's been in Money in the Bank. All of the experience he had has not been wasted whatsoever, and that's why he's United States champion.
100%. He wasn't fazed by the weigh-in last night. This was a new dynamic for him to ultimately be in a situation he wasn't used to. A lot of people responded, as you can imagine, to Logan Paul becoming United States champion. Logan absolutely deserves the title after.
But cheated.
I mean, well, you know, but ultimately he looked really good before that, and he'll look really good in the future. Logan continues to impress in the WWE. We have a new United States champion, which, by the way, a champion after after only 8 matches. Not a very common thing. You're no champion to me. Now, Santos has an argument here. Ultimately, he was trying to do a good thing. You get caught up in the heat of the moment. Logan Paul has to be given credit for being smart by having some cronies there, as Michael Cole said, to your point. But ultimately, the night ends with this for Logan Paul. 2 years ago, this would have been AI art to say that Logan Paul and Triple H would be having a championship picture, and then Logan says, "Thanks for believing in me." That's really cool. Listen, everyone believes in Logan Paul now, Megan, and Logan Paul always believed in Logan Paul. The guy is amazing. He's an unbelievable athlete. To Matt's point, he's unbelievably resourceful. Just put unbelievable in front of any saying or phrase you want to say, and that's your United States champion. That's Logan Paul.
Well, speaking of Logan Paul, we have a backstage interview with the new United States champion. Let's hear from Logan Paul.
Been seeing a lot of y'all saying I'm spoon-fed, that this title was given to me, that I haven't earned it. Let's get one thing straight. I'm from Cleveland. Everything is earned. Nothing is given. I work harder than your simple minds can even comprehend. I do more in 12 hours than you do in 12 months. My blueprint cannot be duplicated. My pace is unmatched. I'm not playing the same game as y'all, son. I've beaten the Matrix. I am the architect. Mark my words. The WWE Universe is my universe, and this belt is just the beginning of that. Watch what I can do.
I agree with him. 8 matches in, and he's proved himself every single time, and he did earn that title. Now, I know the brass knuckles were there, and I know what happened with that, but Logan Paul continues to impress.
My biggest thing, what I'll remember most from this, other than obviously Logan becoming United States champion, he was in firm control of the first 50% of this match. Before brass knuckles, Santos, cronies, before anyone's there, Logan Paul was in firm control of one of the greatest to ever do this. That tells you everything you know, and now that guy has a championship around his shoulder.
He was not down. He was not really down in this match. And you're talking about a Hall of Famer. You're talking about an all-timer Rey Mysterio who's been to the top, who's done it all, who has been an underdog. I think Rey obviously came in as the favorite in the match because he's the Hall of Famer. Logan Paul can't be phased. You talk about LA Knight, how important that is. That is Logan Paul's entire career so far. You can't phase him. When he lives in the spotlight 24/7, when every match he is having is on the highest level, he's ready. Yeah. He's always ready for this. Now, where does he go as United? Are we going to see a locker room lining up to go, I have to take that championship from him? Is this a situation? A lot of people want to see Roman Reigns get beat. It's not easy to do. Does Logan move to the top of that list because he's got the most punchable face? Do people say, no? Are there people that say, that's the United States championship? Think of the greats who have held that championship. Logan Paul can't be that. Are there going to be those defenders? Are there going to be people that just want to knock him out? Or are there people that just want to be United States champion? He will have no shortage of challengers. But now does he have some control now that he's champion?
I think he just might have some control. I want to dive in a little bit to that tweet that we saw from Santos Escobar, saying that he, quite frankly, doesn't believe that Logan deserves this championship. It was just one mistake from Santos Escobar. You're no champion to
from
me.
Santos.
I'll get you. Por la raza. He was out there with good intentions, but just left the brass knuckles behind.
Oh, again, things are moving very, very fast. I don't think Rey Mysterio is going to get back. He's going to be upset that Logan Paul cheated. I don't think he's going to be upset at Santos Escobar. With that said, I'm sure Santos wishes he had that one back.
I think it has been a series of unfortunate events for Santos Escobar since that United States Championship Invitational Tournament.
Yeah.
Various things, right? The match with Rey didn't go how he wanted, and then he doesn't get the match, and then Rey gets the match, and they had the rematch, and there's been, sidetracks with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, and then this one. He tries to help out Rey, as he's done many times before, leaves the Nux there. If he takes him with him, Rey Mysterio is probably still the United States champion as we're talking right now. It's been some bad coincidences for Santos Escobar. I hope he doesn't get down. We talked to him right in the studio how much the spot he has means to him, being alongside the LWO, what it means to be representing, being alongside his mentor, Rey Mysterio. I hope he doesn't get down. I think when we see that post on X, his focus is where it needs to be.
And one other thing to that, all of that stuff really matters to him. Also, all three of us know from having conversations with him both on and off air, the integrity and tradition of the industry mean a lot to him. So brass knucks bother him, and then him accidentally being a small part of the reason why Ray is no longer U.S. champion will really.
It's going to be a long flight back for him.
Yeah. He's not happy with himself. I'll tell you that much right now.
Well, we have to move on to the WWE Women's Championship. It was retained by Io Sky as she defeated a very motivated and hungry Bianca Belair. This was a Bianca Belair that we saw a completely different side of heading into this match at WWE Crown Jewel. She was just 24 hours removed from beating down Damage Control's Bayley, not only in the ring during the match, but then outside of the ring after the match. Yet Io still able to walk away with her championship. But we had a little bit of a return, you guys. Very exciting. We saw Kairi Sane return to give Io a little bit of help.
And this is the key right here, because Bayley's about to go through the table again for the second consecutive night. And no, there's Kairi Sane, who, as far as I know, not part of the Damage Control. And Bianca
I don't think so.
put a post up about it saying, I got to deal with Dakota. I got to deal with Bayley. I got to deal with Io. I know all about that. I've been dealing with that for a while now. Okay. She did not have Kairi Sane on that
One
post.
on the list.
Not at all. And Kairi Sane was the difference. And after it's all said and done, yeah, how about that?
Look at
The
that.
insane elbow. I miss seeing that
me
thing
too.
right there. That thing is a beautiful elbow. Bayley, not quite sure. Bayley got a little history of Kairi Sane, Ryan, as you know.
Yeah, I don't know what
Look at the
to
smile
make.
and the
I
hug.
don't know what to
Look,
make of this.
Io knew.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Now, if you talk to Bayley, Bayley would say that she is the mastermind of Damage Control. She didn't know something that Io Sky knew tonight, because that Io Sky does not look surprised to see Kairi Sane. And listen, I don't know. I can't confirm that, but it didn't look as though they were surprised to see one another. And Bayley, Megan, certainly looked none too sure of what was going on.
Well, there have been a few moments over the last couple months where it almost seemed like Io didn't really want Bayley's help. Bayley accidentally talked Io into a couple matches that she wasn't really sure about. We've seen Bayley put words in Io's mouth, and I'm not so sure that Io always wanted the help that Bayley was providing her with,
Go back to before Money in the Bank, they were having issues.
Yeah.
I mean, look how Money in the Bank ended. Bayley got handcuffed by Io.
Go back to Crown Jewel. When Bayley first comes out before Kairi hits the scene, they were not on the same page.
Yeah, Io was out by herself. That's
Yeah,
a good point.
right.
She was out by herself.
Yeah, Io was saying to Bayley, it was like, what are you doing here, was the vibe I got, even at Crown Jewel tonight. So I don't think you can say these two are on the same page by any stretch of the imagination, and how things ended at Crown Jewel, I think, put the period on the end of that sentence.
Io wants to be in control of her championship reign,
Yes.
the way she wants to do things. I think she knows she can do it by herself. And yes, she has had help, sometimes unwanted, sometimes helpful, whether it be from Dakota or most of the time Bayley. But that was a smile on Io's face, hugging her friend Kairi Sane. That was a smile that said, I knew you were going to be there. The look on Bayley's face was, I am no mastermind. I don't know what's going on here. I don't think it was some ruse. I don't think she was putting it on. She was also wondering why Kairi Sane was back in WWE. And if Bayley was honest, she might go, wait, never mind. No, she's going to play this up very nicely. She wants to be close to the champion. It's Damage Control business. She'll say all of that. What Io will say, what Kairi will say, we will have to wait and see. I'm very intrigued.
Well, Bianca also was taken out by Damage Control 2 months ago backstage. It was an injured knee, and then Bianca makes her return. She wants to get her title back, and Io was very smart at Crown Jewel. She was targeting that knee throughout the match, Ryan.
Io Sky, Bianca came out of the gate strong, but also had that knee in the back of her mind. Io Sky, if anyone had any doubts, and no one should have, she proved that she is not just an aerial assault artist. She grounded Bianca. She had that knee worse for wear early on and shifted the tides of the matchup. Everything that happens at the end of the match, sure, we've already covered that, and we'll figure out more of what comes of that in the days and weeks ahead. But Io Sky proved, without a shadow of a doubt, she can do it all if anyone had that question coming in tonight, Matt.
I think we knew that. I think that's
did,
not a
yeah.
surprise, but I think Io, in the evolution of her career, said, okay, this is how things got to get done. We'll keep talking about that numbers game. It's got to keep coming up because it is the through line of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. You need to have help. You need to have backup. Io can get it done by herself. But a little insurance isn't a bad thing
She's
either.
not going to say no to it.
She's not going to
Yeah,
say
why
no
would
when
she?
she's walking out and still.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw at Crown Jewel. The next steps, obviously, where does Bianca go from this? She's still angry. She's thinking about Kairi Sane. But also, where does this leave Damage Control? Is Kairi Sane part of Damage Control? We'll find out maybe on Friday.
And where does this leave Bianca? Because this was a motivated Bianca headed into the match, not walking away with the championship that she wants to get back, back to the drawing board for Bianca Belair. Elsewhere at WWE Crown Jewel, Solo Sikoa had the biggest victory of his career, defeating the greatest of all time, John Cena. And you guys, I gotta ask, could this be the end for John Cena? Did we just see Solo Sikoa end John Cena's career?
I will not speculate on that. What I will say, and we can talk about whatever here, ultimately, Solo Sikoa did not defeat John Cena. He destroyed John Cena. And to me, regardless of where John goes from here, Solo Sikoa doing this to John Cena on this night, in this stage, the way he did it, Matt, unreal.
To me, you can't make it just about John Cena. And I hate saying that because he's the greatest of all time for a reason. What you have to talk about, though, is this. You look back at what Solo Sikoa did, coming in with all of the pressure that he had on him. And that's a lot of pressure. The biggest match of his career. We were talking about where he was even like in the months before helping Roman out at Clash of the Castle. In a very different spot. Then he's in there with John Cena at Crown Jewel. By himself, by the way. No Jimmy, no Roman, no Paul Heyman. He was there with John Cena every step of the way, which I expected. I thought he would be there. I thought he would be game. But at the end, not only to take the match over, but to go, oh, one Samoan spike's not enough. I'm going to do 2 more, 3 more. I'm going to pick you up and do it again. And John couldn't get out of it. That was the most decisive loss since John Cena lost to Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2014. Nothing else compares to it. That's how dominant Solo was at the end of the match. He took himself to another level. And if I am on SmackDown, if I am looking at the Bloodline, I am worried a lot more about where Solo Sikoa is going.
And you took the words out of my mouth. The only difference between what Brock did and what Solo did, Brock Lesnar is 14 years established when that match happens. Solo Sikoa doing what he did at Crown Jewel, I can't think of a comparison to it. It's as impressive as can be. And Megan, I mean, this is Solo Sikoa's first ever one-on-one match at a premium live event, and it's against John Cena. This is a big deal. Honestly, big deal might not even do it justice. And what Solo just did, yeah. I mean, and the Umaga comparisons were there for weeks, and ultimately, Umaga never did this to John Cena. No one has ever done this to John Cena other than, Matt, to your point, one person.
He's put him down. Look, Umaga got a lot on John Cena.
Yeah.
They have to go back to watch that Rumble match. It's unbelievable. And I think Solo went back and watched that.
For
Said,
sure.
okay, here's what you got to do. I got to go a step further. And then he went probably 5 more steps further. If you're Solo Sikoa, I don't know if he came in with this game plan. I don't know if he felt it. Did he feel John's body just falling apart and going, oh, I could put a statement here. I could say, I didn't just beat John Cena. In my first ever singles premium live event match,
Unreal.
I finished him. I don't know if he finished him. But if you ask Solo, he felt like he did the job to finish him.
Well, we talked about on the kickoff show, Matt, a theme we always talk about here in WWE, who needs this win most. Obviously, it was about legacy for John Cena and keeping his legacy with the WWE Universe after the reaction that he got following the loss. I think it's safe to say that the WWE Universe still stands behind John Cena, but Solo needed this victory, needed to prove himself to the Bloodline, and what a way to have your first premium live event, a victory over Cena, and it was never in question.
Really cool to see John Cena do a chokeslam, but yeah, honestly, that was one of the few bright spots where we actually thought John was going to be able to rally momentum and get this done. Megan, that's so well said, because ultimately this would be impressive no matter what the circumstances. But what adds to this for Solo Sikoa is exactly what you said, Megan. He had to impress the tribal chief. Roman Reigns gave Solo Sikoa very hyper-specific instructions as to what to do to John Cena tonight. Where John Cena goes from here, we don't know. But Solo Sikoa, as always, followed his marching orders and did it in a way that no one could have possibly expected.
He is the enforcer of the Bloodline, and we've all had our fair share of questions about the Bloodline and what is going on. Jimmy Uso, the backup quarterback. Jay is not in the Bloodline anymore. Safe to say the Bloodline is in good hands with performances like that out of the enforcer, Solo Sikoa.
Like I said, he got the biggest victory of the night for the Bloodline. Nobody else is out there. not support from Paul Heyman, not interference. Roman's not going to be out there. He's doing his own thing. Jimmy's not getting out there. Solo went out there against someone who has been to the top, who has lived at the top, who has a penthouse on the top of the mountain, and said, all right, no problem. And it wasn't questioned, to be fair. John Cena had a heck of a match before that.
Oh, yeah.
But Solo was there with him every step of the way, and then he went a few steps further. If you're Solo Sikoa, you walk out of there with your head held high. You might even look at Roman Reigns and go, I did that by myself tonight. You saw me do that by myself tonight, right? He might not say that out loud. He should have that in the back of his head. He should be thinking about championship gold. Hasn't been champion since the North American champion right when he joined up with the Bloodline. He should be thinking that way. And everybody on SmackDown should be worried because I think the Bloodline reestablished themselves, if they weren't already, right back at the top.
Well, they may not have Jay any longer, but the bloodline is still as strong as ever, thanks to one Solo Sikoa. Well, we have to move on to Cody Rhodes defeating Damian Priest tonight. Cody Rhodes pulling out all of the stops. This one was a very exciting match, and we knew going into this match, it became personal. We obviously know what had happened with the Judgment Day taking the tag team titles from Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. And then Damian Priest attacking Cody Rhodes and injuring that ankle. Cody was far from 100% heading into that match. We've talked about this. It doesn't matter when it comes to Cody Rhodes, but he did get a little bit of help to even the numbers game, you guys.
I feel bad for Damian Priest. He wrestled a heck of a match. Ultimately,
he's not here anymore. You don't have to say that stuff. I know he was in the studio and all that recently.
You do not have to feel bad for him.
I'm just being sincere. Like, the cash-in was a bummer for him. He wrestles a heck of a match. Ultimately, he was super game and doesn't.
But he had this going on. You know this was part of the plan. You feel bad for a guy who had 3 people coming out to help him?
You've been saying the whole show, this is the WWE.
But you don't have to feel bad for Damian Priest. Oh, cool. The interference plan didn't work. I feel so bad.
On Ultimate more often than not. Ultimately, Jey Uso pays massive dividends because, Matt, I don't know how this match goes if Jey Uso doesn't get involved.
Jey Uso was the difference. Jey Uso. Judgment Day bails, by the way. They didn't get right back up and go. They say, all right, it didn't work.
Yeah.
We're out. We're going to live to fight another day. And Damian Priest shook. Shook by not cashing in. Shook by that interference not working out. He's got to stay in there with a game Cody Rhodes. And Megan, I know you mentioned ankle injury. I don't think Damian did a good enough job because Cody was not limping around whatsoever. He said as such, but we keep coming back to every roadblock, every setback that Cody ends up having. He bursts right through it. He gets over it. He is a motivated man. You could say finish the story all you want. He's not there. He's not thinking. He can't think that far ahead. You want to go against Damian Priest, you want to go against Senior Money in the Bank and all of Judgment Day, take care of that first. Losing the tag team titles, okay. You go after my ankle, okay. I'm going back after you. Now you refocus back up. He's had twists and turns on this road, whether it be Brock Lesnar. There's been ups and downs. Look what happened there. Winning the tag team titles. I don't think any of us had Cody Rhodes becoming undisputed tag team champions with Jey Uso on this story.
Not on my bingo card.
Not on the bingo card.
Nope.
Now he doesn't have those anymore, so he takes out Damian Priest. Now where does Cody go? Where does the story take Cody Rhodes? Is that it with Judgment Day?
One chapter at a time, to your point. Ultimately, I love that Jey Uso got involved because, they did hint a couple times like, hey, we don't like that we lost those tag team titles, so we'll see. Nobody knows for sure. Ultimately, Damian Priest had a target. Matt, I tend to agree with you. I think for as well of a match as he wrestled, he possibly could have targeted a little bit differently. Cody Rhodes was ever resourceful. 3 crossroads. You don't just bust out casually for the fun of it. Damian Priest was very game, but Cody Rhodes figured it out as he always does.
Well, and Cody Rhodes was never timid heading into this match whatsoever because even when Cody gets knocked down, which we saw the low blow delivered by Damian Priest to Cody Rhodes, and then obviously what happened with the ankle, none of it matters because Cody Rhodes gets knocked down and he comes right back up. That's what we saw him do today, looking to end things with the Judgment Day once and for all, but I'm not so sure if he did that quite yet.
Well, the Judgment Day is not going to go anywhere. This is a setback for Damian, a rough night for Damian Priest, but ultimately Rhea Ripley still has her momentum. Dominic and Finn are in. Who knows what's going on with JD? I've stopped trying to
But I would
figure
take it somewhere else if I was them.
Yeah.
Cody beat Damian Priest. Damian Priest got to worry about getting his briefcase and his contract back. They got to think that way. Where does JD McDonough stand? Maybe you just say, listen, Cody beat us. Cody was better than us. We tried. It didn't work out. We're going to go over here. Damian should be thinking about becoming champion, not about Cody Rhodes.
And to that point, the other thing is, like, Damian Priest is going to be frustrated with Cody Rhodes, but he's probably more frustrated with Sami Zayn because the night could look totally different for Damian Priest if Sami Zayn doesn't do what he does at the beginning of the night.
Well, the WWE Universe was very excited to see Cody Rhodes walk away victorious. Here's some reactions. Cody Rhodes defeats Damian Priest, and his story continues. Where's it gonna go? Cody wants it more than ever, and he has to finish the story. We heard Damian Priest kind of mocking what is that story heading into this match, and then this one is from Cody himself. The run we've been on, I've dreamed of since I was a little kid. Thank you guys so much. Can't wait for Raw. So much more fallout to come on Raw as it relates to Cody Rhodes, and he's on this journey. We saw at WrestleMania last year, wasn't able to get the job done against Roman Reigns, but what Cody does when he gets knocked down, he gets back up and he continues on this path.
Well, it's interesting because Cody likes the whole journey, right? Every part of it, being in live events, touring the world. He watched his dad do this. He grew up in this. Cody Rhodes didn't make Survivor Series last year. Cody Rhodes was hurt.
Yeah.
I think there's something I get to go be back in Survivor Series. He knows it's Survivor Series, man. He was on the other side of that at times.
And it's in Chicago.
He's got a little history in
place.
Chicago. Yes, indeed. No doubt about it. I think he looks at that and goes, oh, this is a big one. I know what this means. Yeah. This is a cornerstone premium live event. I want to be on those shows. I want to be on the top of those shows. War Games is coming. I don't know if that's where Cody lands at Survivor Series, but I think those kind of things matter to him. He knows all these stops and twists and turns on the journey make it that much better. He watched his dad go through it. He watched his dad get close and not get there. He knows this is part of it. He knows it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
I think he appreciates that.
I think so, too, and past his dad, like, you know, what do people talk about when they talk about the boyhood dream of Shawn? The build-up to it, right? I mean, ultimately, all of these met points and checkpoints for Cody matter. I think he, to your point, is looking forward to the twists and turns. I don't want to be as cliche to say as the journey is the destination, but I think he's kind of looking at it
Shawn
in that
Michaels won a Royal Rumble, lost to Diesel. The next year, he wins another Royal Rumble. He beats Bret Hitman Hart. Cody Rhodes won a Royal Rumble and lost. It's not easy. It's not easy whether you're coming at 30 or coming at number 1 or whatever it's going to take you along the way. There's Brock Lesnar's that run in the way. There's Judgment Days that run away. There are injuries that pop up. There's traveling the entire world and being a very important face in WWE. All of this is part of it. It's what he wants with the ultimate goal still in mind.
Well, we did see the Judgment Day retreat pretty early on. Dominic leaving, Finn leaving, JD leaving, all Damian just standing back there in the ring. Now, we know there's no leader per se of the Judgment Day, but I think the leader happens to be Rhea Ripley. Do you think Mommy is going to have something to say about the Judgment Day's leaving Damian Priest?
I mean, she's not going to be pumped about it. Like, you know, it's like, but ultimately, I do think that I tend to agree with you. I don't necessarily always know what Rhea is going to say or feel about a certain situation, Matt, but she's always pointed and she always has a plan.
She will never let them be down for long.
I agree
They're
with that.
still champions. They still hold a lot of power. They still hold a lot of gold. But when there's losses and things don't go to plan, Mommy gets them back on track. I expect that on Raw.
Yep.
Well, elsewhere at WWE Crown Jewel, we saw a very special episode of Miz TV that was crashed by the arrogant Aussie himself, Grayson Waller. The Miz has a pretty busy week coming up, Matt.
The Miz, who all of a sudden is trying to tell everybody, including the Intercontinental Champion Gunther, I'll take things seriously when I need to. Miz TV is a fun time, but by the way, I'm a 2-time Grand Slam champion. I am the man who rejuvenated that Intercontinental Championship that is on your shoulder. And The Miz will have a chance to get back to it in a fatal 4-way this Monday on Raw, taking on Ivar, taking on Ricochet, and Big Bronson Reed. It's going to be a fatal 4-way to determine Gunther's next challenger for his Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Don't sleep on The Miz. He may drive you nuts, but the proof is in the pudding when it comes to Miz's resume. And I think Gunther may have awakened something we haven't seen from Miz in quite some time.
All right, it's Judgment Day for us, no pun intended. But on Wednesday, we made some picks heading into Crown Jewel, and it is time we reveal our records.
How'd we do?
Drum roll, please.
How we do? I forgot.
Ryan,
How we do?
you finished with a 5-2 record.
That's solid.
Congratulations.
You make the playoffs at 5-2.
You
Yeah.
definitely do. And Matt, very impressive. 6-1
Oh,
record for
Who
you.
would have thought that John Cena would have been my one in 6-1?
Top of the standings.
And not so good for me. I was 3-4, but I did pick one with my heart, so I easily could have finished 500. But
Are you blaming LA Knight for being 3-4?
No, I'm blaming myself for picking with my heart and selecting
pick.
LA Knight. It was never wise to bet against the tribal chief, but every now and then.
Don't worry about those other 3 losses. It's
You
okay,
just
you'll be
have
fine.
to do that. So 3-4 for me, 6-1 for Matt, and
5-2.
5-2. Very, very
3 and 4. Is that
respectable.
a passing grade or?
We're not going to have to. We're not going to really talk about that. But speaking of Imperium, they will join us right here in the Bump Studio on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. You're not going to want to miss this episode because Gunther, he will know who is his next challenger for the Intercontinental title. On Wednesday, during this episode, we'll have all sorts of questions for the ring general, the longest reigning Intercontinental champion. I can't wait for that, you guys.
Second time in studio. I'm not going to try to join Imperium. It didn't work out for me last time. I noticed, though, since last time, Gunther's celebrating his achievements a little bit more. Last time, he's like, I don't care about those numbers. Now he's the man with the Intercontinental title.
You gonna dress up as Miz again with Gunther here?
No, theoretically, we kind of inspired the Miz, Grayson, Waller thing, but we were much more getting along than Grayson and Miz. So.
Yeah, we did. They saw the bump and they said, oh, we need to do that at Crown Jewel. Grayson once again stealing an idea from me. Well, thank you all so much for watching this very special edition of WWE's The Bump. For Ryan Popola, for Matt Camp, I'm Megan Morant. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.